What is up, adventurers? As you can see, I'm back working on the exploder. Today we're fixing another common problem with these, and that is the thermostat and thermostat housing, because they like to go bad. And you can kind of tell, I mean, it's a little dusty, but I already put the new part on. I wasn't going to do a video, but I need to put some content up, and this is a pretty common problem with these that I'm sure people are going to want to see, so let's get into it. So what I did first was I went and I removed the lower radiator hose down there, took the cap off the radiator, flushed the radiator out, and then when I had the old thermostat off of there, I ran the hose straight through and flushed the block out. As good as I can, and then I went back behind with distilled water and flushed it some more with distilled water. But what you got to do to take this thermostat out, take this upper hose off, and that'll allow you to get to that little guy down there. It's kind of a pain, but I just did it with some channel locks. That hose, you undo the clip because you're not going to get it off yet. Then you come up here, you undo the clip on that hose, and then you undo your little sensor doohickey here, and that should do everything as far as sensors and hoses. And then you've got 1, 2, 3 bolts that you need to take out, and they're about yay long or so. And once those come out, you can pull this hose off, and then the whole unit will pull up, and that's when that hose will separate off. And then pull it off, clean the surface. I had to disconnect the sensor, the old sensor, and put it in this new one, which there's just a little wire clip here. You take the clip out, pull that out. It's just a little O-ring that holds it in there. Pull it out, pop it back in the new one, save the clip because you're going to need it, and then pop the clip back in, and you're done with that sensor in the new one. And then when you go to stab this back in here, you're going to hook this hose right here first. You're going to hook it on, and then you're going to drop the whole thing down in, and while you're doing that, you're going to fit it down into that hose. And I just made that sound a lot easier than it really is, because that hose down there is kind of a pain to wiggle it in there while you're also trying to not twist up this O-ring seal on the bottom here, because on the bottom of this housing, it's not an actual gasket, it's like a rubber O-ring set up into the housing. So you just got to kind of finagle it. And as you can see, I've got that on, I've got that clip on. This pigtail had a little bit of wire breakage going on, so I'm going to just hit it with some tape real quick, just so it doesn't get too much worse or be exposed any more than it already is. And then put this guy back on, put my hose back on down there, figure out a way to finish flushing this thing, and then I should be ready to refill my radiator with coolant and distilled water, let it percolate for a minute, get it all topped off, and it's good to go. But I just thought I'd show everybody that. Oh yeah, and these are 8mm bolts down here, in case anybody's wondering. Those are 8mm channel locks, so like literally just 8mm channel lock, maybe like a flathead screwdriver is all you need for this job. Right here, see, that's literally all I use. And I even used a 1/4-inch drive, because you want to be really careful, because that housing is plastic and it's aluminum underneath. So I just used a 1/4-inch drive to torque it back down, that way I didn't go all apey on it, whatever. But that's it for now. That's just a single take video. I'm not going to edit anything. But I hope somebody finds this useful.